Welcome to Indy's Real Estate Gurus. I'm Rick Ripma, your hardworking mortgage guy, and I've been in real estate and mortgages for over 34 years. I've helped over 5,200 folks finance their homes. My team and I believe in custom tailored loans, not the one-size-fits-all approach. We believe there is a right mortgage for you, and we believe we are the team to deliver it.
And I'm Ian Arnold, part of Rick's hard-working mortgage team. I've been in the financial industry for 15 years, helping customers rebuild their credit to get the best possible interest rate. And also, I have a passion helping you secure your overall real estate dreams and helping you pay off your home even faster.
And for the most up-to-date information on mortgages or the Indy's real estate market, go to hardworkingmortgageguys.com. That's hardworkingmortgageguys.com, or you can call 317-658-5240. That's 317-658-5240.
All right, and we got a fantastic guest for us today, Rick. So I'm not even going to wait any longer. We have Fadi Aboudi, right?
Yes, I did it.
And
he struggled.
And you're with FC Tucker, right?
Yes, FC Tucker Company, Carmel office.
Awesome. And how long you been with Tucker?
I started my real estate career with Tucker on December 2020. So I'm with them since that time till today.
Awesome. All right. So before we get into more of the real estate, let's go back. So where did you grow up, and how did you even get into real estate?
Sure. I'm originally born and raised in Damascus, Syria. Damascus is like the oldest inhabited capital in the world. I'm so happy I have a lot of things to share about Damascus. It's the place, the people, and history that you see there. It's like the land of civilization, I believe. Many religions go there. Many things that nice happen started from Damascus. The first alphabetical started in Syria, in the world, and some really other nice stuff. So I grew up in Damascus. I graduated from business and economy school. I grew up in a family with another two brothers, lovely brothers. Yeah, mom and dad. Yeah, we do support each other, and I'm happy with the family. After I graduated from the school, I started my life journey by traveling to Algeria, north of Africa. I got my first job there as an accountant for a gas and pipeline company that was like half Syrian, half Russian, working for the Algerian government to have a very large gas pipeline that's gonna give them a lot of money at the end. But yeah, and then there for 2 years. After that, I moved to Qatar, the Middle East, the Gulf area, and worked there for 11 years before I end up in the United States in Indiana.
That's quite a bit.
It is. How'd you end up in Indiana? I mean, that's a lot to get here in Indiana. It does. How'd you get here?
Yeah, actually, when I just like tell my people outside of the state that I'm moving to Indiana, oh, Indiana, why you don't go to California, New York? This is what you see in the movies. I'm like, yeah, this also you can see in one animation movie that Turbo, the snail, started his life in Indiana. So my brothers, my family, my mom and dad moved to Indiana. My brother, the oldest one, he's a doctor, so he's the place where he ended up working. And then my brother, the youngest one, the architect, moved here. My mom and dad moved. We all moved because of the oldest brother is living here. We want to be together. I was part of them for like 14 years, and I just want to be with them. So I moved to Indiana.
That's
and
great.
Actually, I found that Indiana is a very lovely place, and especially for the family. I'm married with 2 kids, so this is the best place for me to raise my kids.
Awesome.
Yeah, and we talked a little bit before this that it's interesting how many people moved from overseas, moved to Indiana, and they're like, oh, I'm only going to be here for a year or two, and then I'm going to Chicago or New York, but then they never leave. They're like, wow, it's so nice, no traffic, I can go from here to there without any issues, and it's just, I think people just love it, especially as you said with kids, it makes it a lot easier.
Yeah, actually, I grew up in a Damascus is like a very big city, 6 million population with a nightlife and 24 hours. Like you can find a place to go. So I moved then to Algeria. Then when Qatar was also like Doha in Qatar was a very like lovely city and live full of life, and people are there like also 24 hours. I moved to Indiana. I thought it's quite calm, okay? And we live in Westfield, so it's also the suburbs and it's quiet area. After a while, you used to that, okay? I still love to go to big cities. When we want to have fun, it's like here, Chicago, it's 2.5 hour driving, we go there. But it's yeah, when you used to be in this no traffic, this calm, very safe city place, and I think it's better just like for now to stay in Indiana. I'm not planning to move out.
So you have an interesting work career that doesn't even tie into real estate. How did you even get into real estate?
Yeah, actually, when I started my job as an accountant, then moved to Qatar, I worked for a very big and famous kids TV channel, and there I was like the traffic desk coordinator. This title is maybe not everyone like familiar with, but it's like you are the roundabout and you are the police office that all the programs that has to come across you before it go end up to the on air to be RTB, ready to be broadcast. So I was there in administrative job. It's not like work for the animation itself or like an engineer or something. So it started from the negotiation for programs and choosing the program that fit the kids in every slots of age. And then we work on that. We start like I receive the material, send it to another department. They screen, they submit the report. I prepare the material again and send it to the other department to do the technical and the editing stuff. Then send it back to me. Then we work on a dubbing company that's we have to translate to the Arabic language for the kids. Work on that, send it back to me. So I was really great in the follow up and the reports, not having any mistakes, get everything organized with all departments are well organized, well prepared for what's coming in, for the next like grade on the TV if we are celebrating anything. So this is what we were working. And when I moved to the States, I was trying to find a job in the TV in the beginning and to keep staying in the media where I have like experience for 11 years. And then I realized that to stay in Indiana, it's not the right place to be work on TV or channel or something. So either you have to move again to California, maybe New York, DC, Florida, or stay in Indiana. Unfortunately, when moved by end of 2019, was planned that to find a job, and then COVID hits. Everything was locked down. Don't have to do anything. No job opportunities, no job offers, nothing. And then I realized I have to move forward. I have my wife, and that time I had one kid. So I have to move forward. I have family. And then I met with my brother friend. He was his real estate agent. We talked a little bit about like the real estate and how that time was like start to be booming and getting crazy. I said, okay, it wasn't easy. Zero database, don't know anybody, but they told me that if you work on that or do the marketing, connect with people, meet new people. How we meet people? Like it's COVID, everything locked down, and we have masks. We don't see the face of each other. But anyway, yeah, I did like the license. The license in the school was not like the easiest thing in my life. It was the first exam in English. My native language is Arabic. My second language was French. But yeah, working around in the whole world, like it get me some experience with the English. I did learn by myself, getting newspapers, stories, and stuff. So yeah, it wasn't easy, but I passed. Here I am in the real estate.
Awesome.
So we had one real estate, and she was from India, and so her clientele, she basically worked with a lot of India people. So do you work with a lot of people, like Arabic people and Middle Eastern, or do you...
Arabic's a language.
I know. As soon as I said it, I was like, oh, are you kidding me? But just roll with it. All right. But do you I assume you probably help everybody, but do you have a specialization?
Yeah, the Arabs people are like my main clients. Most of them, they are migrate, and some of them they don't speak English. Some of them they feel comfortable to talk to someone that they speak their language. And because there is like all the Arab countries, we might like get different accent with Arabic, but at the end we can understand each other. So that makes like people feel comfortable talking to someone. There are some other Arabs agent, and they are great, but I started like building myself, getting the trust of the people, and I'm happy that they start like referring me, they start trusting me. I start like building my connections, and Yeah, I was moved from couple of transaction first year to 12, 13, 14, now in the process to get my goal. So I'm happy with that.
Yeah, you've done really well.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and then
congratulations, 'cause
the,
you've done
the
really well.
feedback that I hear from my people, and then now from other people that they never met, when they saw me like, oh yeah, you're Fadi, I know your name and you're great, so yeah, keep going, and we're
Yeah.
happy that we have someone like you.
And to do that without having any connections here is, very little, few connections here is pretty awesome. I mean, that means you've really worked and you figured out how to develop a business here.
Yeah, exactly. One of the marketing strategy is like to send notes to people or call. And then like usually people they have like 70, 80, 100 people in their database. So to do the first round of notes, the second round to go to the same people, maybe it takes like a month or two. I start with 10 people, so they're receiving notes from me every 2 weeks, the same note. But yeah, I want like to keep myself busy and feel that yes, I am doing the right thing, even if I know that I am sending these notes to the same person twice a month. But I have to do that. And the people they were not like really upset. They were no, yeah, please go ahead. Don't think that we're upset. We want to support you. So yeah, I start with getting some list from the church where my family go. I went to the priest. Like we are also a small community, but yeah, give me the list, please. I want to add it to my database. I met someone. I split my business card, the support of the office, that everything that I need. They were so. Yeah, I'm here now. I'm happy. When I like just like now revising everything, I feel that was like really hard, but yeah, it happens. No one should say like it's not doable, even if it's a new country. As we are speaking the language, we have the motivation, everything will be easy.
Yeah.
All right. And if somebody would like to work with you, either to buy or sell a home, what's the easiest way they can contact you?
They can call me or text me on my phone number, which is like 317-645-6435 at any time, or my email address, which is fadi.aboudi@talktotucker.com. So these are, and also they can follow my Facebook page, Fadi Aboudi Realty, my Instagram page, and they can text me through Messenger at any time, and I will be always happy to help.
Wow, you're
everyone.
available.
Yeah.
And just so everybody here, the phone number 317-645-6438 or 35. Can't even read.
And his number's a good number.
Yeah, it is a good number. But his email, it's fadi.aboubi at talk.
ABOUDI.
ABOUDI. What did I say?
You said D. A-D.
I can't read. I'm going to have you do this now. At talktotucker.com. It's terrible. The older I get, the harder it is to read. I don't wear glasses. I have no contacts, so it's just.
I will get you one tomorrow.
It's weird too. My eyes get better and worse over time. Like one day I can't see, and the next day I can see perfectly. I don't understand it, but it is what it is. I normally make that bigger so I can read it, but I didn't. And to get a hold of Ian or I, it's hardworkingmortgageguys.com. That's hardworkingmortgageguys.com, or you can call 317-672-1938. That's 317-672-1938. And thanks for listening to Indy's Real Estate Gurus. I almost forgot. The gurus we interview share valuable insights. They reveal their strengths, personalities, and how they'll work with you. Well, we hardworking mortgage guys secure your best mortgage. Real estate gurus work hard too. They avoid problems the amateurs don't see. They listen and they find unrealized opportunities. If you're buying or selling a home, a real estate guru is a valuable asset. If you're even thinking of buying or selling a home, keep listening and definitely call one of Indy's real estate gurus.
All right, Fadi. So we're going to take a little detour from the real estate side. So let's say I have to take away your phone. You cannot work for 24 hours. What do we catch you doing for fun?
It's a very nice question, because after I become a real estate agent, I realized like there is not enough time to take care of yourself. So after like getting busy for 3-4 months in the beginning, I realized no, I have to revise my schedule and find time for me and my family. I always like plan a weekend to go out for, like, let's say Chicago, because it's like a very close city. Or I went with my wife to Vegas, and I went with the kids to California. I've been in New York and in New Jersey for also a weekend. And mainly it's not like in the summertime where like we are really busy. So this is when we plan something out of Indiana. planning in Indiana, I always like give time to my kids to go out, walk, or play in the backyard, go to the splash park, go to the pool. During winter, I want to take them to ski, but they are still like really young, 4 and 2, maybe like starting next year, get my son to start skiing. And it's really cold winter here comparing to the place I came from. Damascus, we had the 4 season, and we have like some snow during winter, but Qatar like 130, 125 like degree during summer, and like maybe 70s during winter, raining for 1 or 2 times only. So comparing to that, we have a very cold winter, but I like cold winter.
I would rather have that, the colder winter, than 125 degrees, but then I grew up here, so man, 125 just doesn't sound appealing.
Yeah, I think like no one can imagine what that 125 is until he goes there and examine that by himself. Because
Yes.
as long I describe, it's hot, hot, hot. No, you cannot. Like unless you want to go into an oven and just like turn on to 125 and feel that. But
Yeah.
other than this, it's really, really hot.
My son lives in, one of them lives in Louisiana, and we went to visit him, went to New Orleans. And everybody kept talking about how hot New Orleans was. And I thought, well, Indianapolis, it's 100 degrees and 100% humidity. How much hotter can it be? Okay. Well, it is a whole nother level of hot, which where you're talking about is even a whole nother level of hot above Louisiana. I could barely stand it. I don't know how anybody could do it.
Yeah, sometimes it's getting hot in a place, and sometimes get like very humid. But to get in a place like very hot and very humid, this is the worst.
Yes.
You can like start looking, I need oxygen. Where is the oxygen? Sometimes especially during night, because during the day with the sunlight there is not too much humid, but at night it is very humid. So yeah, so I spend my time with my kids. I have the brothers here. I have a couple of friends. So we go out. We gather. Sometimes like for barbecue, sometimes for hookah, and sometimes for other stuff. So yeah, we're really enjoying the time.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So I do have to ask. So when I first got into sales and everything, I did cars and everything. Well, I worked with a couple of people from Qatar and everything like that. And we sold high-end cars, so people would come in and buy the Mercedes, and they'd be Arabic, and they would come in, and it's a total different way they haggle. And it's like, it took me a little bit to adjust. So I'm kind of curious, because they can yell at each other, call each other names, and then as soon as they're done with the deal, they're best friends and going out to eat. So did it take you a little bit to adjust to haggling here?
Yeah, actually, the way that we act and we talk, we use a lot of our hands and stuff. So sometimes people, they think that we are like, we're gonna fight, but no. And sometimes we have like, when we gather, we fight who's gonna pay the bill, and we start like taking, no, give me, I will pay, and the other will say, oh guys, hey, you can split. No, we are like fighting who's gonna pay. We're not fighting who's gonna split because of split. Yeah, this is the way we talk, maybe sometimes in loudly voice, but yeah, that's how we grow up, and we are friends no matter what's going on happen. Yeah, we argue maybe, and we might like get like very angry, but in 2-3 words we say to each other, everything will go back calm, let's go out again, and we are again friends.
Yeah, I found different cultures is very interesting on how people, you can perceive something from a different mindset and not realize what's actually happening.
Yeah, in the office I try like not to be that my like Arabic go out for everyone. So I try like, but now they used to me, and they used to how the way I talk, and then what we act and what we talk about. So we're good in the office. So
Yeah, but you have to negotiate on properties and things, but most of that's not verbal.
Yeah,
right? So it's not. Yeah. Well, I know you guys wouldn't like going to lunch with me, because if somebody wants to pick up the tab, I let them. Because if I want to pick up the tab, I don't want to argue about it. That's probably a difference in culture. If I want to pick up the tab, I don't want to hear somebody. I had to teach my wife this. Well, actually, I didn't have to teach her because she doesn't follow it. But if somebody says, "Here, I'll pick up the tab," I tell her, don't argue. now if they're if they're from another country, maybe we do argue. I don't know.
Yeah. They will.
You gotta get your respect in.
Yeah, and we got a lot with like emotional stuff. So if you want to do something and like, oh, when they said, oh, sorry, I will do that for you, like, yeah, we could like because this is what we emotionally we go into many things to do and to help each other. So I realized that no, here maybe like you don't have to be so much emotional, especially with the business. You cannot just like get the word and just like take that as a verbal contract and then like you have to follow it. No, everything had to be like written, but yeah, this is the business. But in general life here, like, yeah, verbally when we say something that we have to do it.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
100%.
All right, so I'll let Rick ask his favorite question.
Oh, you're all right. He's finally going to let me ask a question. What would you say your superpower or superpowers are?
Superpower is like to be patient, especially like with what's happened now, after that, the messed up that happened in Syria and the war and everything, and moving from to another country, moving to another country, end up in the States, with all the stress for that we go through in life. I know everyone has a stress stuff that's going through. I have something, maybe you have something different, and he has something different, but everyone has like stressful stuff. So
Right.
it has to be patient. Everything will be solved. I believe that everything will be solved at the end, and I believe that the path that I'm in now, I have to go. I cannot go back. I cannot go back to Qatar. I cannot go back to Algeria. I'm gonna go back to Damascus. I'm here now. I have to look forward. I don't have to look back. So you have to be patient, and you have to always be the deal breaker for the stuff that when you come to make a decision, you have to be like tough. And yes, I will make this decision and I will take the result no matter what's going on. I have to be responsible for my decision. And before, when I was like single, I don't really care. Like, I'm single, I will do this now, I will change tomorrow. What, with a family, or a big responsibility? Yeah. The kids? Oh my God.
Married life changes all of us.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not always your decision either. When you're married, you got other people you got to think about.
Yep.
Yeah, especially
So, yeah.
I met my wife through Facebook, so I'm like from the new generation that the technology stuff. Like my brother got engaged, and I was checking his picture on Facebook, and then I saw that, oh, there is a lovely girl sitting there. Who is she? I start like, to start the relation. I was in Qatar, she was in Damascus, and then I start like going back and forth to meet with her to get to know each other. Then we got married.
Wow. How far is that?
It was like 2 hours,
Okay.
15 minutes flying. So it
So it
was
was a distance.
it was a long distance. Yeah, no way that I can meet with her like every week or so. It's not traveling by car. You have to go through many countries to go from Qatar to Damascus.
Okay.
So flying was the best option.
Okay.
Isn't it so much nicer? You don't have to do that here. You can just fly to Indiana, fly to Chicago, 2.5 hours, whatever the fly to New York. I mean, there you like you said, if you drive, you're going through 3 or 4 countries. That's just crazy.
Yeah, like the States is a really huge place. Like to go from New York to California, it's like you're going from Qatar to England.
Yeah.
Like a whole continent. Yeah.
But there's other huge countries.
Yes.
China, India, there's
Australia. These are,
Russia, they're a lot bigger than us. So
yeah.
But it's amazing because I think sometimes when people are from Europe, they don't understand. It doesn't seem that big. Well, we do the same thing, but there's a problem in California. The fires in California. Should we even go to the United States? A fire in California ain't going to affect New York.
Yeah, exactly.
You're not in any danger in New York from a fire in California.
Yeah. The nice thing was in Qatar that is like also in the middle of the world. So flying was something really like easy. And because of the weather in summer, and the summer is like the vacation season, so we always ready to go and visit a new place. I traveled many places from Qatar, and like Europe, in Asia, in Africa, and I was so happy to be like in many places and get to know many cultures and get to meet new people, which is really that enrich my knowledge and open my eyes that about other people living in this world, which is like really amazing.
It makes you a much better real estate agent, I'm guessing.
Yeah, Yeah, because now I'm really using my knowledge with people that I met, if these are not from the Arab culture, and I meet like somebody, let's say India or from the States or from Europe. I have a background about everyone, and I know how what kind of conversation to talk and to open and to talk about some subjects. So that really helps.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. You're a man of many knowledges.
Yeah.
So let me ask this. So what do you think separates you from other realtors?
You mean separate that make me different?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. First of all, the language that I have, some other Asians they don't have. I speak Arabic and I speak French. I help like a couple of families here that they were talking me, and I knew from the accent that they are maybe have French background. When I just like changed to French, they would, oh yeah, you help us a lot. The things that you understand. I know that I didn't practice French for a long time, but at least I have that in mind, and I can get like to understand each other. And that's the most, like, the language is like I have some privilege on others, and also like my accent obviously is not like the American accent, so that make me also like in step behind like some other realtors. The stuff that I know about like what's going on in the whole world, that make me also, because now I'm watching the news not only for the States. I'm watching the news, what's going on in Europe, what's going on in our countries, what's going on in the other side of the world. So I'm kind of updated of some stuff that's going on. And when I meet someone from that culture, we can share the conversation about what's going on. And then that builds the trust between me and the clients, which I'm happy with. Even if it doesn't work to get a transaction done, but like, at least I had someone added to my database, I had someone added to my like friends, to my life like connections. I realized that connection is like very, very and big important. 2 weeks ago, I got my Facebook account disabled for a linked Instagram account that's not mine. Something happened. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what to do. And then I was like, search how to solve this problem, because I rely a lot on my Facebook page to get people into my database and meet new people. I searched in my LinkedIn and I saw that I know someone was in Qatar. We are linked together, and now he's working for Facebook in California. So I did text him, and he did text somebody from support, technical support, and they solved my issue, and I got my Facebook page back. So I did like, oh my God, how connection can change life, and how you can get like the right advice from someone that is really expert in something if you know him. So that's really like connection, language. I'm really like a very active person. So I come to the office, I go out, I take my kids from school back home, then I go back again, I go out. If I have showing at 7 p.m. I'm ready, 8 p.m. I'm ready, especially in summer, the day is long. During winter, like everything is going to be more lazy but quiet. But yeah, so maybe this is a good point for me against other agents.
I would think that's really valuable, and it's amazing the connection, because we had an agent in who somebody had done the same thing to her. She didn't have a connection, and she spent, I don't even know if she was ever able to get it back up, and just had to start another account.
Yeah,
that's
really bad, and especially that sometimes that they say that if you lost it for like a month or two, then maybe you lost it forever, and it's not your mistake. But this is what happened. This is a technology. There is no, if you search on Facebook page, there is no like support number that you can call. There is no support email that you can send. All you have to do is follow the links that they connect to your problem.
Right.
And sometimes your problem is something new. But
I know. I'm not as, I mean, you younger guys are a lot more technical savvy than I am. So me, it's all my kids. They have to help me out.
So the bad news is he just put that out. So any person that ever listens to this, they go, oh, I have a Facebook issue. They're going to contact you. Hey, you know a guy.
Well, if you do real estate with me, there might be a little caveat there. That might not be all bad for him.
All right. So before I'm going to ask you your phone number here and best way to contact you. But I also want you to let all the listeners know all the languages that you speak, in case there's one out there that they're like, oh, I need that one.
Yeah, my native language is Arabic, and I can speak French and now we have to speak English since we are like in the United States. And English, like it was like everywhere. When I was working in my previous job, I was the coordinator. I have to contact all the companies around the world. Some of them they are in Spain, some of them they are in Russia, some of them in Arab countries, some of them in China or Japan. So everything, the language that we use was the English. So
Okay.
it's like the very famous language now.
All right. And how would somebody get a hold of you?
We can meet in person. We can meet via Zoom. We can have a direct call. We can have text. I'm open for, and also I have some like other applications on my phone that if someone in like another place in the world and WhatsApp is not working, so there is like another application that we can get in touch. So I have many applications and available. Sometimes, yeah, they text me, but if it's late, I will reply the next day. But most of the time, if I'm able to pick up my phone, I will pick up my phone.
And what's your number?
317-645-6435. Call me or text me anytime.
Awesome. And then your email is?
fadi@talktotucker.com.
So he wasn't going to take a chance of me trying to do it again. He learns quick.
Yes, he does.
And to get a hold of Ian or I, it's hardworkingmortgageguys.com. That's hardworkingmortgageguys.com. Or you can call 317-672-1938. 317-672-1938. Just so you know, it took me like 4 months to finally say that correctly. So I'm fair to everybody. I misdo it. I misdo it for everybody.
All right. And now we'll get into the question of the week. And the question of the week is sponsored by, hey, Rick and I, the Hardworking Mortgage Guys, where we believe in helping and supporting you and your realtor by sending constant updates throughout the whole loan process. Nobody likes to live in a black hole, so we do not allow it. Again, if you are a black hole liver, we are not the company for you. All right. So I'm actually really curious on the answer to this question of the week. What was your first car?
Yeah, when we grow up in Damascus, my dad has Mitsubishi Lancer 1983.
Okay.
Then we changed that on 2004 to Kia Shuma. And car like in Syria is something like really, really expensive. Like there is like the car price and there is like what you pay for the tax, which is like sometimes 300% of the car price.
Oh,
so if
no.
like 10,000, you pay 40,000 to get like a very old car. Yeah. And in Qatar, I bought my first car. It was like Mitsubishi Galant 2009. Then when I got married, we bought an Audi A4. And then when we had our first kid and we want like a big car, we bought like a Volkswagen. They call it here Atlas, but they call it like Terramont in Qatar. I think because of the specs of the car,
Okay.
that car that there has to be like something like really can take care of the hot weather.
Oh, yeah.
While here they don't have to have the same specs for the car. It has to have covered from all the bottom because like the asphalt when you go on the road it's 125, but it's like the road is like 140, maybe 145. So it has to get the weather, the hot weather, and to work well.
Yeah. I didn't realize that car companies would change their names, but like I told you, I grew up when I was in sales. So a couple of the owners were like, hey, look, yeah, overseas, this is actually called something different. And I can't remember what they said. And it's because if you translate that name here, it's okay. But if you go over there, it might mean something bad, or it might be a bad mojo or something like that. So they have to change the names. I didn't even think about that type of stuff.
Yes, and some names like, for example, now in the Arab countries, when you put like the sign for a shop place, you put like the English because it's like the franchise, and you have to put like at least like this, not the meaning, but the same way that you read it in English, but you write it in Arabic. And I can assure that some names they keep it in English. No, that's really dangerous. That's really like, yeah. So yeah, we go through that. I believe now they are like the big companies. If they're gonna create the name and like hold it like internationally, they think about like they try to at least cover like most of the language that has a bad meaning, so we will avoid it. We'll go with like something that really famous or common in the whole other countries.
Audi did it well. A7, Q4, or what? No, nice and easy. No weird names.
A lot of them have done that.
Yeah.
In the Gulf area, they are really crazy about plate numbers.
Oh, okay.
So the number, like for example, like in Dubai, they sold the plate number 1 for millions and millions of dollars. They are crazy. They have this like motivation that we're gonna buy the nicest plate number. Or I have to get like a phone number. My phone number has to be golden numbers, and you pay more to get like a nice number. So let's say like 6666666. Oh, this is like maybe $1 million.
Wow.
Yeah.
How, on paying like 300% for taxes, how do they? If people just have that much money that they can go and buy like a brand new car that's $100,000 and actually pay $400,000 for it?
Yeah, there are some rich people. There are some people that they can afford small car. There are people they can afford that don't afford to buy a car. But yeah, it was like if this is like for the car here like is 25,000, you can find it there for 60, 70, depends on the model and the manufacturer, whatever. Like so, yeah, we pay a lot to get a car.
Okay, and do you need a car there? Because like my son lives in Chicago, and until recently, until he got married, he didn't have a car.
Yeah, like we don't have a metro. We don't have like in the city. We have like taxis. We have some small buses. But yeah, it's gonna be when I was like in the college and then high school and the school after that I was using the public transportation, which was like good and easy. But if you wanna go clubbing and get like your friend or girlfriend, so yeah, it's nice to have a car. Better than go with the taxis and then like if you go back late, there's no public transportation maybe, and it's more safe to be in your own car that to go with the sometimes public transportation.
Okay.
All right. So how is real estate different from here versus like overseas, like Qatar and stuff?
Totally different. Starting from the way they build the house, the code here that you have like basement and there's like the cement and the walls, and then it's like just like 3-4 feet over the ground, and then you continue with the wood, the plywood and the wood stud, and then the roof. That in our country we have all the building is like made from cement and block. So here it lasts for 30 years, there it might last for 100 years. If nothing happened like earthquake or something, this house will live forever if you do the great maintenance and you should take care of that. And in some place that yes, we have the same roof that the shingles, but we don't have this kind of shingles. We have the one made from, let's say the wood, not wood, but maybe ceramic or another kind of.
Yeah.
So yeah, that will also like handle the snow. But yeah, we have it totally different. So even the terms that we use and the verbal for like when you say title here, and they came and they told me like you need a title for the house. Title means like Mr. Mrs. So what title means? That we have a different name also. I was trying to translate. Yeah, to translate like, how come I know what title means? It's totally different. And even if you translate it, it would not give you the same meaning. So it was different. But at the end, selling a house, it's not about the construction of the house. You have to know about the construction, but mainly about like how you can get the client, how the client loves the house, and how you negotiate. Because at the end, I'm not like a construction guy. I am the broker and between the buyer and the seller. After I got like many times shadowing my team leader, going through some open houses, check. My brother is an architect. He really helped like with this, trying to explain some stuff about like how they structure the house, how the plans and everything. I got the knowledge about how we can go and tour a house. But yeah, real estate here is different than real estate on that side of the world. But at the end, real estate agent and real estate agent, they do the same job about like being in between the buyer and the seller.
Just the houses are different.
Yes.
They're built different.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, it's probably, and you weren't a real estate agent there, but you saw it, so you had a knowledge of it, and then you come here, and I think it's important, and it's great that you came and you wanted to learn how it's built, because that matters. I would think would be very helpful to your clients, and it must have helped immensely to have your brother as an architect
Yeah, I in the beginning I was checking the BLC sheet. Oh, this is a slab. This is crawl space. What the difference? I don't know. We don't have like slab and crawl space.
Right.
Either basement or like first, second, third, fourth floor, or like this is a villa. Even we call it a villa. We don't call it a house.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So and then I need somebody to really explain what the difference between stuff until I get to know everything by myself. So
Yeah.
that's really different.
Well, I've watched some of the shows, and I like the English shows, and I've watched some of the shows that are selling houses, and it was interesting to me because they call, like, ours is first floor, second floor, right? Theirs, the top floor is the first floor.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they call it different. It's like it's just different, and I think it helps probably your clients, especially if you probably help quite a few that are coming in from other countries. You can really help them understand, you understand what they might think a title means, and that's not what it means.
Exactly.
So you can help them.
Yeah.
greatly.
Like we have like this median floor that's not existing in some other place. Like we go like first, second. So there is some difference.
Yeah.
And if you want to learn, you will find your way. But real estate in our country doesn't need a license. Here in this, which is like I prefer to have a license, so you pass some stuff that you really need to worry about before you go into the real estate, just like being an agent and helping people. So that's really good.
Yeah, I would think that'd be helpful, and it kind of it it makes people not just think, okay, I'm going to be a real estate agent, right? They have to go through a class, and it's very impressive that you passed the test in Indiana the first time, because I have talked to many people who have taken 3 or 4 times to pass it, and you came in from another country learning the language, so you must be extremely smart.
Yeah, I was like, when I want to have the chance to check, like to go to the school, and that time because of COVID they will do everything on Zoom. I would keep looking for someone that I can go in person. At least I want to be in person there, and because for my English and the language and everything, I want to be there that I can ask as much question as I can, meet the people, get to know into the language, because the accent for the people they speak in Qatar is totally different when you come to the States.
Okay.
Good, we were going to the cinema and watching the US movies there, so we are familiar with that. But yeah, to be in the States and talking to people, it takes me like a little bit time.
Yeah, it's just impressive that you could do that. I think that's phenomenal, and obviously you worked hard at it, or you wouldn't have been able to do it.
Yeah, it was like hard. In when I started, like first time I moved to Qatar, I realized like I have to be like speaking English very well, because I cannot like go over the phone and with someone in different country and then I don't know how to speak. So I start like working more on getting movies without translation, because we have everything translated. You can see the translation going over the movie, so you can I can read it, and then in that time and I don't think about what they're talking about. So I stopped like watching the translated. I was reading like more like Gulf news or stuff like this written in English.
Okay.
I got some stories from Damascus that one page is in Arabic and the other page is in English. So I was reading the English. If there is a word I don't know what does mean, I go back to the second page and see what does mean, and then continue working on that.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, like I did some stuff by myself, but yeah, it works. And then like practicing here is like, whoop.
Yeah. So what would you tell somebody who's getting into real estate? Because you got in it, you didn't have any sphere of influence, you didn't have a lot that most of us have who are going to get into real estate. But what would you tell them they need to do, or 1 or 2 things that they absolutely have to do to be successful at real estate?
First of all, they have to get as much people as they can in their database and keep these people connected to each other. That I have to keep sending them like my calling and sending notes, telling them that I'm a real estate agent, and it's not a shame or shy to ask for help. Like if you go to, let's say, to the barber shop and he cut your hair and you say like, oh, do you like it? Say, oh yes, I like. So what did you tell your friend about me? And then, oh, for sure, that's like something that at least you can do that if you like the service. So ask for people, for the help of the people, ask for the support, and share your business card. Whenever like you can put yourself in front of people, go and do it. This is the way that you can build your real estate database and your estate like career, and then you grow up. You won't grow up until you start like having people talking about you.
Right.
So to reach that time, pay for marketing. Don't wait like until you make money, then you pay for marketing. No, pay for marketing first, and then like things will come back to you.
All right. So I'm kind of curious on this one. What do you consider one of your most memorable deals that you've done?
The first deal, it was the one that I was like craving to have the first deal. When we start we were just like joined FC Tucker, and we did some of the leap training. And then I asked like how much time that the first agent, a new real estate agent, has to spend time to get the first transaction. And they said like, it's obviously like 6 months. So my goal was to get my first transaction done within the first 6 months. So I was really working hard, and my family can say like how I was like, oh, where's people? I need people. Send me people. Hey, my brother, why you don't go and buy a house now and then get my first deal? So when I got my first deal, I was like giving that deal like every single minute of my life and following and doing everything. And yes, I didn't close within 6 months, but I got my offer accepted within the first 6 months. So I was like, when they asked me in the office, how are you doing? It's like, I got my first deal and offer accepted within the first 6 months. I said, oh, you're great. So that deal was really like mean to me. That means that I put my first leg in the real estate career. So that opened a lot of things for me. Yeah. It was a very nice house in Westfield, so I'm happy with that.
Yeah.
And he forced his brother into buying it. He's like, you will buy a house now.
They did one last year and one this year. So yeah.
Finally, he finally got him to come around.
All right. Hey, so if somebody wants to work with you, what is the best way they can reach you?
They can call me or text me anytime to my phone number, 317-645-6435. They can get me through email, fadi.aboudi@talktotucker, my Facebook page, Fadi Aboudi Realty, my Instagram page, Fadi Aboudi Realty, and I'm always available.
And to get a hold of Ian or I, go to hardworkingmortgageguys.com. That's hardworkingmortgageguys.com. Or you can call 317-658-5240. That's 317-658-5240. And follow us for more Indies Real Estate Gurus.
Hey, Fadi, I'd like to thank you for your time. It's a wealth of knowledge you have given us today. So thank you.
Thank you so much, guys. I was really happy to be with you.
Awesome. All right. And reminder, if you know any friends, family, or coworkers looking to buy, sell, refinance, contact us. We'll be more than happy to help you.
Branch NMLS number 33041. Rick Ripma's NMLS number 6645890. Ian Arnold's NMLS number is 1995469. Equal housing opportunity. Some restrictions apply.